Well, good morning, everyone. I think we should get started.
I want to make a comment, and this more pertains to future items, and I'm going to make a comment when on the Gloucester situation, when that item actually comes up on the agenda. But I want to make a comment to this board as somebody who's chaired this board, who's somebody who's served a couple of terms on this board, just on the topic of focus and perseverance here. We're going to spend a lot of time today, and we have a full audience to talk about some important charter school matters. As we all know, emotions run very high on charter school matters, and we have to be focused in our deliberations on the needs and interests of children, and we have to persevere with the courage of our convictions when we make decisions. There are a number of attempts actively at foot to distract us from the focus that we ought to have. And it's ironic that many of those, while cloaking themselves in rhetoric about depoliticizing the process and how our process ought to be depoliticized, have become highly politicized. And we see at work, as recently as this morning's paper, some of the well-worn tools of political assassination, distortion, media leaks, innuendo, threats of various kinds. And I think we're going to have to rise above that kind of strategy in dealing with these cases on their merits. And to know that much of this is political in nature, some of it is partisan political in nature. Much of it is sincere, much of the opposition and differing viewpoints that we get on these matters is driven by legitimate concerns about our process, concerns about the best interest of communities and the best interest of children. But mixed in among that are perspectives and strategies designed to hamper us in our perseverance, to diminish the courage that we take in our convictions, and to distract us from the true business. So I guess what I'm saying in the end on this board certainly is going to be my position, and I commend it to the rest of the board, that we need to persevere. We need to make our decisions based on what we believe to be in the best interest of children. We need to keep moving forward, and we need to stand up for the integrity of the board against those who would attack this board or members of the board, and for the integrity of the process and decisions that we have arrived at.
We are now going to move to public comment, and I'm going to ask Senator Bruce Torra to come and join the board, and I believe the senator is going to talk about the Gloucester Charter School. I thought I saw the senator here. Oh, sorry. The lights in my eyes. Good morning, Senator. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Madam Chair. It's nice to see you, and it's nice to see you in this beautiful room. And I can understand the light being in your eyes, but I think the most important thing today is that the light shine upon the entire process by which charters are granted in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I think that's an important aspect of what the board is to consider today. I do want to say that it is nice to see all of you again. These are becoming somewhat routine encounters, and I do hope that there'll be a day when we can talk about things that are more positive in nature than those which have been bringing us together. But it seems that until corrective action is taken, we will be gathering and talking about the serious flaws that have occurred with regard to the granting of the Gloucester Community Arts Charter School Charter, which has, in my opinion, now become metaphoric for some deep, deep flaws that have occurred in this process. And I say that with regard particularly to the fact that it can be no doubt, or there can be no doubt, that up until this last cycle of applications and approvals and rejections, that the process that this board has engaged in to approve charters has been heralded across this nation as a model for its integrity, for its transparency, for its accountability. And that's what makes the case more compelling, that the board must now act in order to rectify the granting of that charter and take the corrective action that's necessary to restore those qualities to the process which have made us all proud as citizens of Massachusetts, as folks who are interested in education, and I can tell you certainly as members of the legislature who have been called upon recently once again to act with regard to the issue of charter schools in order to make us eligible for Race to the Top dollars, in order to make us eligible for the kind of tools and to put in place the kind of tools that we would all hope to have to advance the state of education in Massachusetts. And I can tell you, Madam Chair, that I was very honored to serve as a member of the conference committee that worked on this most recent piece of legislation. And I believe it is a good piece of legislation, and I would say here that I appreciate the input that we've received from members of the board, and particularly from the Secretary and from the Commissioner, about how we can work together to be able to make charter schools work better in Massachusetts, and how we can create the tools for intervention in underperforming schools. And I know that we all look forward to seeing the tools that we've put forward as legislative matters and now statutory matters come into fruition. But even as we discuss all of that, we have the situation with regard to this most recent round of charter school approvals and rejections, which day by day becomes worse and worse and worse. And so even those who would like to believe that there was some integrity in this most recent round are having difficulty because of the voluminous information that continues to come forward. And my understanding is now, as a result of some published newspaper reports today, that there is an investigation now going on with regard to the rejection of another school, even as we consider the approval of one that was improperly granted.